Aye, aye, shepherd's pie, greetings from the Philippines. I'm back with a tale from Thailand. Be quite a short video tonight. I've made myself a promise that I will get 3 videos out a week minimum and a live stream. So in order to honour that promise, I'm making tonight's video, which, as I say, is a little tale from Thailand. It's not going to be a long one. Not much point in this story. You're not going to learn anything valuable apart from how not to deal with snakes. But here we go. When I was living in Phetchabun province, I don't know why I'm pointing over there. God knows where Phetchabun province is in terms of a map. But when I was living in Phetchabun province, I was living in a little village called Bang Pat Poo. And the Thais do love a karaoke. Even though it was a small village, don't know what the population was, be less than 1,000, easily less than 1,000. We had 3 karaoke bars to choose from. And these were very basic places. They were little like bamboo restaurants which they had a sound system, they passed a microphone around. And because they were basic, the toilet facilities were not great. And we'd been out one night into town to have a meal in the market, and we come back, there was a few of us on the old scooter, and we decided to go to the karaoke. Now, I had had an upset stomach for most of that day. Just hadn't felt great. Not to do with the food, never got food poisoning in Thailand. I was just feeling a little bit, you know, we get these things from time to time. So when we got back, I was looking forward to getting into the house and having a good shit. Excuse my crudity, but I needed a shit. But, you know, mob rule and that, they'd all decided they wanted to go karaoke. So we pulled up the old scooters, my girlfriend got off. I said, I'm going back to the house. She said, why? I said, I'm going back to the house, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Because it was a very basic karaoke, this bar. I'd seen the toilet before, there was no way I was going to go and have a sit down in there. So I said I'll be back in 10 minutes. So they all went in to sing a song, as they call it over there, and I went back to the house where we were living. I let myself in, went into the toilet, hurried into the toilet in actual fact, sat down and did my business. Not giving a care to the world really about anything else, other than I thought, you know, I hope I feel a bit better after this, and I'm going back to the karaoke bar. So as I'm sat reining the throne, I had a little glance down, and I hadn't put the main light on. I'd only put one of the lights on because it was, don't ask me why, it wasn't my house in the sense I hadn't designed it, she designed it. And we had 2 bedrooms and a living room stroke dining room, and 2 of the biggest bathrooms you've ever seen. You know, our bathroom was the size of the bedroom, and equally the guest bathroom, or whatever you want to call it, which had a shower and a toilet in it in the living room, that was the same size. I mean, it was massive compared to the house. It was ridiculous. Those 2 bathrooms took up I don't know, 25% of the house plan. So anyway, because of that, it took 3 lights to light the whole bathroom, and I just had popped the one light on, which was over the old toilet. So I'm looking down on the floor, and I can see this thing in the corner. It was a tiny little, don't know what it was, but it was blue. And I'm looking at this thing thinking, what the hell is that? So I got my phone and I put my torch on it, and I shone it down, and I'm looking at this thing and I'm thinking, what is that? And I realised it was a snake, but it was a very small snake, and it looked like it didn't have a head. So I'm looking at this thing, and when I say small, I mean it was small. It was like, you know, I don't know, a few inches, but it was curled up in a ball. So for whatever reason, I had no fear of this snake. I just looked at it and thought, where's his head? I thought it was dead, or maybe it didn't have a head because it wasn't moving. And I'm looking at this, but I don't know why, you know, I wasn't filled with fear or anything like that, probably because it was so small. I mean, if it started moving towards me, I'd probably jumped up, you know, I'd have shit myself. And I'd have been in the right place to do it. But anyway, I don't know why I laugh at my own jokes. I know I make myself laugh sometimes. So I'm looking at this thing thinking, what is it? Is it dead? Where's his head? You know, what's going on? So I decide I've got to have a closer look at this. But then as I go to get up, I glance down on my foot, and about a foot away from my foot, there's another one of these bloody snakes, curled up again. So at this point, I'm like, I've got to get up. So I jumped off the seat. Well, I didn't jump off, I got off the seat, because this one was a lot closer to me than the other one. So I'm thinking, this is very strange. We'd never had I mean, I've been living up there, how long have I been there now? About, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. There were a lot of snakes in that village. You would see snakes when you're going along in your scooter. You'd see them like slide across the road really quick, and those things can move fast. And you'd see them in the grass sometimes. But never had a snake in the house. But this one was small like the other one. So like, I thought, right, I've got to... and I had had a couple of beers because we'd been in town, so maybe the fact that I'd had a few beers had given me the Dutch courage. But again, I wasn't particularly scared at this stage. So I see that snake and I'm thinking, right, I've got to put the lights on and see what's going on. So I goes into the steps over the other one, and I goes round into the other part of the thing and puts a light on the bathroom. As soon as I put the light on, I see there's another one over in the corner by the shower. I mean, what the hell is going on here? So I've got all the lights on now. I had a little look around, and I couldn't see any more than these 3 snakes. And they were little blue checkered snakes, they were, and they were quite a bright blue. But all 3 of them looked like they had no heads. So I started thinking, because my girlfriend's brother lived with us as well at the time, and he had a son called Phil. And I started to think, are these Phil's toys or something? So I can't remember what I got. There was a stick or something. Oh, it was the broom handle, you know, for sweeping the floor. So I poked one of these things because they looked bloody real, and as soon as I poked it, it started to move. So I realised then they were snakes. But they were so small, I didn't give it much of a thought. So then I had a dilemma, and I thought, what the hell do you do with snakes? I didn't want to kill them. I mean, I don't kill anything unless I have to. I mean, I don't. It's like, you know, I'm very lily-livered like that. If there's a knockhawk or a cockroach, they call it, I won't kill them. You know, I come in the other room, Angela will kill them, but I don't like doing that. So there's no way I was going to kill these snakes, but I thought I've got to get them out of here. And the one I prodded kind of moved a bit, and then it curled up again. But I'd seen that it did have a head. Because that was the weird thing about these 3 snakes, like you couldn't see their heads. It looked like they were like, you know, tiny little snakes with no heads. But what they had is they had their tails over their heads. It's just the way that all 3 of them were curled up. So I'm looking at them thinking, they don't move very fast, and they are very small. And I had watched enough, you know, the old wildlife documentaries and that, you know, the old snake catchers and things, to realise that if you pick a snake up by the back of the head, it can't bite you. You know, that's the way to hold them. So I thought, I'm going to get these out of here. Went and got because we had a dirty kitchen which was outside, and we had a couple of big pots we used to cook stuff in. And I thought, I'll pop them in there, because it's got like big sides to it. If I can drop them in there, they won't be able to get out, or won't be able to crawl out very quickly, and they won't be able to jump up at me. So I thought I'd give this a go. So I leant down, I got the first one, which was by the first one I'd seen, and I just very gently got it by the back of the head, picked it up, and this thing didn't really move much. So I popped it in the tin, in the pot, and it was fine. You know, it just kind of like moved around a little bit, but it didn't do much. Didn't try and bite me or anything. So I thought, these can't be venomous. I mean, if they're venomous, I mean, you see something like try and hiss me or try and bite me or whatever. So I mean, I didn't know what they were. I'm no expert on snakes. And this is going back a few years, so it wasn't, you know, like these days, you just Google it straight away, you know. But I wasn't really at that frame of mind in those days. You know, I hadn't got used to this whole Google concept that you can answer any question. So that went in the pot, no problem at all. So I thought, right, I'll get the other one. Picked it up just the same way, back of the end, popped it in the in with the other one. When I get the third one, and as I went to grab it, this one spun around like it moved. Now I don't know if it was trying to bite me, but it moved towards me. So I thought, shit. So I stepped over it, and it moved again. But I don't know what came over me. I mean, it was bloody stupid because this one was a lot lighter than the others. But I just rubbed down really quickly, grabbed it by the back of the neck, and popped it in the pot. And I thought, well, what do I do with them now? I will chuck them in the jungle, I thought, because the back of the dirty, we literally lived in the jungle. I mean, we were up in the mountains, but you know, every house in our village had been hacked out of you know, coconut trees and banana trees and all that, and bamboo. You know, the second you came to the bottom of our garden, where the dirty garden, where the dirty kitchen ended, immediately the other side, it was just pure jungle. I mean, it was like, you know, it was to literally to go through there, you had to have like a machete surplus just to hack the stuff away, to collect bamboo and that or whatever. So I thought I'll just throw them over into the, you know, into the jungle bit. But then something clicked in my mind. I do not know what it was, but I thought I should take a picture of this because they're not going to believe me. If I go back to the karaoke now and say I found a bathroom full of snakes, they won't believe me. They didn't believe much I said in that village. Every time I said something, they thought I was joking. So got my little phone out. I think I didn't take my phone. I either took a picture on my phone, I can't remember, or I made a little video. I think I made a little video because I used to have one of those Sony Handycams. But we're going back quite a few years now, about 10 years. I think it was my Handycam. In fact, I'm sure it was. And I did a little video. Held up in a little pot, these 3 little snakes, just like a 30-second one. And then I lifted it up and I just knocked them over the wall. I mean, I didn't want to hurt them, but I didn't want to, like, you know, let them out, you know, slowly. Because they're a bit livelier now. They were in, you know, in the steel boiling pot. So I just threw them over on the base. I thought, well, there's lots of like vegetation out in the ground, you know, that'll cushion their fall. And away they went. And I thought no more of it. I went back, got on the bike, went back to karaoke. I think when I came in, I said to them, I just found 3 snakes in the bathroom and I've chucked them in the jungle. In fact, I'm pretty sure I said that. But of course, they're all in the middle of singing and they're having a few drinks. My Thai wasn't great. So if I did say it to them, they didn't really understand me, or no one took much notice, so they might have thought I was joking. I don't know, to be honest. But we stayed there for a few more hours, had a few drinks and that, as you do. It all got a bit raucous. And then we came back. Thought nothing of it. It wasn't a big thing, you know. I gave it no more thought. Next day though, I'm out in the garden, sitting on the old patio like we used to. Her brother was doing some cooking. She had 2 brothers, big fuckers they were, big for Thais, really big men. 6'3" plus, which is unusual for Thais, and they were heavy. Bet and Adun. And Adun had come down to the village to visit us, because Bet stayed with us most of the time. He kind of lived with us, but Adun lived, can't remember the name of the place he lived in, but it was about half-hour drive from where we were. He comes in and he's talking to him, and we're having a chat, and Bet was doing something at the sink. I think it was boiling bamboo or whatever, or getting ready to do something with that, because he used to dig the bamboo up the roots from the jungle bit, and then they'd boil them and make them soft and use them in cooking. And I suddenly, when Angelique came in, she came out and she made some remark about these snakes in the bathroom, like I found snakes in the bathroom. To which he laughed at, because they thought I was joking. I mean, she obviously, the way she said it, she thought I was joking. And I'm like, I don't know why you think this is so funny. There were snakes in the bathroom last night. I put them in the garden. So they were laughing about that. Then I suddenly remembered I'd recorded it on the Handycam. Now, if I hadn't, I wouldn't be making this story now because it would have just disappeared in the ether and I'd never given it any more thought. But I said, I can prove it to you. I got the camera out. I showed it to Adun. And he wasn't the kind of guy who was like, you know, I'd often tell him things and show him things, but he never really showed any reaction. He just smiled and be polite, but I don't think he knew what I was talking about half the time. As soon as I pressed the play on that, he like moves back and goes, ooh, oh, oh, oh. And he calls Bet over. I said, you know, Manny cup, Manny. Well, he didn't say cup, he's not polite, but Manny means come, you know, in Thai. He comes over and he looks at it, and the two of them are like, where did you find these? Where? I said, I told you, they're in the bathroom. And like they were in the thing, and then they're straight in, looking in the bathroom, then they're looking under the bit because there was like a gap underneath the house where the toilet was, and this pipe that was coming out. So anyway, to get to the end of this story, because I've gone on too long, these snakes were blue crates, and they were baby blue crates. And blue crates, I think they call them Indonesian blue crates or Malaysian blue crates, but you get a lot of them in Thailand. They come out in the water, they like damp areas. And the theory they had is that they'd crawled up this pipe, because there was a pipe that came out of our house, which they immediately blocked up, kept blocked from that point onwards. But anyway, these blue crates are one of the most venomous snakes in the world. And if you get bitten by a blue crate, even if you have the anti-venom, you've got a 50% chance that you'll still die. And the trip into the hospital in Petchabun City, had I been bitten and made that journey, because I talked to people about this afterwards, would have decreased the chance of me surviving. If you don't get the anti-venom, you're screwed. Chances of surviving are virtually nothing. And even if you do get it, I don't even know they had it in that hospital, or the hospital we'd have gone to. 50% chance. And apparently, the younger snakes are more venomous than the older snakes, because they don't know how to, you know, apparently when they get older, this is true, I don't know, people were telling me, they know how to regulate how much venom they give out. But these little snakes, they don't. So the moral of the story is, had one of those snakes bitten me, I would have been proper fucked. I mean, that's the reality of it. But I didn't. If I hadn't taken the video, I would never have known what they were. No one would have ever believed me. But that's what happened. So from that point onwards, I was known as Snyman the Snake Man. I was called the Snake Man for quite a long time in that village. It was they thought it was funny because it was similar to Simon the Snake Man. But there you go. A pointless story from Thailand. If you take anything from this, bear in mind when you're living in the provinces, particularly up in the mountains, there are a lot of snakes. Just because they're docile and small doesn't mean they can't do you some damage. So don't pick them up. Leave them be. I mean, in retrospect, I would never have picked them up if I knew how poisonous they were. But what would I have done? I mean, I don't think there's a snake man in the village you can call. I suppose I'd have told one of the brothers, and I'm pretty sure they would have killed him or done something. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, it was a happy ending. The snakes went on to live fruitful lives, I hope. I live to tell the tale. I'm back in the Philippines now. Oh, I'm in the Philippines now. So, no harm done, really. Anyway, there you go. A pointless story about life in the village, in the mountains, in Petchabun province. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button. You make me very happy if you subscribed. Whether you do, whether you don't. Oh, I tell you what. Before I go, live streams. There's going to be some live streams coming up. I've just got to talk Ellen into helping me with the camera and how to do it, because I don't know how to. Now, she has promised me faith. She's looking at me now in the bed. She's looking up like. But if I don't do a live stream, it's because of Ellen. Blame her. Blame her, not me. I want to do it. But, you know, it's all down to her. That might guilt her into it. Anyway, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. Subscribe, make me very happy. Whether you do, whether you don't, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe, be lucky.